Hello again to everyone. This is Jeff Commings, and I'm here to read from another passage of my autobiography, Odd Man Out, True Stories of a Gay Black Swimmer. And just to kind of catch people up on the history of this book, I started writing it um, seriously in about 2005, 2006, and it was published in May of 2010. And ever since then, I've been trying to find new and creative ways to bring the book and its stories out to the masses. Because it's self-published, I don't have the backing of a major publishing house, and so I've had to think of some pretty inventive ways to uh, get my story out there. And thankfully, I've been blessed with the technology of YouTube to be able to do that. And we're here with part 6 of my 18-part video series. And so far, parts 1 through 5 have been very well received, and I've even gotten a few book sales from it. So I'm very thankful to those who have bought the book. And if you're either interested in buying the book, or you're kind of on the fence, you can go down to the description box below, and you'll get to a link where you'll be able to get a little bit more about the book, and you'll be able to buy a signed copy for $15.99 through December 31st, 2010. After that, it goes back to $20, but still a pretty good deal. So let's get on to today's reading. I will be reading to you today from chapter 5, and it's only fitting that I'm wearing this tank top here from my days at the University of Texas, because I will be reading to you about I wouldn't say it's traumatic, but definitely one of the most memorable experiences I had my freshman year at Texas. Every swimmer on the team had to climb the ladder to the 3-meter springboard in the diving well and do a back dive. It seemed very easy. Close your eyes, hold your arms above your head, and fall backwards. Most of the team was able to enter the water pretty close to vertical. Very few of them landed on their backs. The freshmen are usually the first to dive. I didn't go first because I wanted to see if I was the only one afraid of hurting myself if the dive didn't go correctly. My freshman teammates didn't have much of a problem with the dive, which gave me confidence I could do it too. That is, until I actually found myself standing at the end of the board. With my eyes closed and my arms clasped over my head, I was ready to go. On the deck below, my teammates were waiting in silence to see how I would land. I kept visualizing the dive and how it should be done. But I had a huge fear of the pain of hitting the water on my back or stomach, because I felt in my gut that I couldn't pull off the dive correctly. I also feared that my teammates would laugh at me. I'd be the butt of jokes for weeks. I hadn't done anything yet to prove my worth to the team, and I desperately wanted this to be the thing that showed I belonged with them. After a minute of trying to force my body to do the dive, I lowered my arms and walked away from the edge of the board. My teammates groaned. After a deep breath, I tried again, but I couldn't make myself fall backwards. The thought of a painful aftermath, physical and psychological, was weighing heavily on me. After about 10 false starts, I gave up my spot on the diving board. I watched the upperclassmen do their dives with little problem. Why the hell couldn't I do a simple back dive? When everyone was done, I walked to the front of the board and attempted to dive again. I was holding up the start of workout, but no one really noticed. I was quite surprised. I thought everyone would have started workout and left me there to finish the dive. But they stayed there. Even the women's team was offering up some cheers from their side of the main pool. 30 minutes after my first failed attempt, I fell backward. Before my feet left the board, I got scared. The way to complete the dive successfully was not to throw your head back to look for the water. You had to trust that it was there. But I threw my head back, which meant my back arched and my body over-rotated. I landed on my stomach. I was in pain, but I didn't feel the need for oxygen right away. I felt my tear ducts filling up. I wanted to stay underwater and cry. I had failed. If I needed proof that I didn't belong on a national champion college swim team, this was it. I stayed underwater for a while to avoid the jeers waiting for me. When I finally surfaced, my teammates weren't laughing. Well, at least not all of them. For the most part, they were applauding and cheering. I suppose it was an achievement to simply do the dive. I gave a little wave and swam to the edge to inspect my stomach. The pain stung, but I didn't feel it very much. At the beginning of every new season, I always dreaded the day we did the back dive. This became a familiar sight for the next 4 years. I would go to the edge of the board, certain I had conquered my fear. But instead of laughter, I expected people to yell at me if I didn't complete the dive. If I didn't learn from my mistake my freshman year, something had to be wrong with me. Each year, it took at least 20 minutes for me to complete the dive, and for 4 more years, I landed on my stomach. So that was one of the most, again, it wasn't very traumatic, but every year that was very memorable, me getting up on that diving board and trying to do a simple back dive. Very simple. I didn't put this in the book, but maybe about maybe 10 years after I graduated from college, I tried it again, landed on my stomach. But at least I didn't wait 20 minutes. I just got up there, and the first time I just said, you know, if it hurts, it hurts. And I did it, rotated right over on my stomach. It was a little bit painful, but nobody was around to see it. I did it on a day when the pool here at the University of Arizona, where I live in Tucson, was pretty empty. So I don't think anybody saw, and if they saw, they didn't say anything. Well, that's going to do it for part 6 of my 18 parts video series. I hope you've enjoyed what you have seen from my book. If you haven't seen parts 1 through 5, you'll find links to those in the description box below. I would very much appreciate it if you could take the time to like this video and to also subscribe to my channel so that you'll be able to be notified when a new video is posted. And any comments you have, I really would appreciate them, and I'll try to answer them either in a subsequent video, or I'll actually comment right away in the comment field. So thanks again for allowing me to share my story with you, and I look forward to seeing you for part 7, where I will continue to describe some of my exploits at the University of Texas. So, hook 'em horns.